Meditation and Spiritual Life, Swami Yatiswarananda. Worship of God as the Mother. Can we worship God as the Mother? In India, we do not ask this question. We take it for granted that the Divine Spirit can be worshipped in many ways, not only as the Master, the only mode allowed in Islam and Christianity, but also as the Mother, as the child divine, as the divine child, or as the divine lover. There is nothing unnatural in worshipping God as the Mother. Just as a baby is nursed and nourished by its mother, so also does God create, support, and nourish all living beings. To look upon God as the Mother is the most natural way. It is also the most sublime and enduring attitude. There is greater freedom and spontaneity in the devotee's relationship with God as the Mother. As Sri Ramakrishna used to say, just as a child can force its demands on its mother, so can the devotee force his demand on God. He gives another illustration. As long as the child is playing with its toys, the mother busies herself with household chores. But when the child throws away the toys and cries out for its mother, the mother keeps down the cooking pot and runs to the child. This beautiful analogy illustrates the strong bond that exists between the divine, conceived as a mother, and the devotee. So we are playing with all the toys of the world. Me, mine, my property, my friend, my this, my that. Very happy, very intensely devoted to playing with my toys. But when I get tired and realize, what am I doing? I am playing with the toys. Where is mother? Then when I throw them away and starts crying, mother must come. That's her nature. It is we who have forgotten. We are happy with our toys. Mother is looking at us, okay, let him play. The conception of God as the mother is not a Hindu creation. It prevailed in many countries in ancient times. Some of these mother cults were degenerate, but we are concerned with the ideal of mother worship in Egypt. She was known as Isis in Babylonia and Assyria as Ishtar, in Greece as Demeter, and in Phrygia as Cybele. When they are hard pressed by the great, when they were hard pressed by the great Carthaginian military general Hannibal, the Romans worshipped Cybele for success in the war and officially declared her to be the mother of gods. Judaism and later on Islam put an end to mother worship in the Middle East. Christianity too suppressed it, but later on revived it in a modified form. Mother Mary. Catholics venerate Virgin Mary as Theotokos, the Mother of God. Because of theological strictures, the Blessed Virgin occupies an inferior position in the Church, but the popular masses do not make such distinctions. Traditionally, they don't make distinctions. Theologically, they are different, but traditionally, local traditions, they consider, they don't make distinctions. Millions of Catholics, especially the poor, worship Virgin Mary more or less in the same way as Hindus worship the Divine Mother. In Warsaw, I saw an ancient temple dedicated to the Madonna. In Switzerland, I visited a monastery which was over 1,000 years old. I saw there monks worshipping the Black Madonna. In her complexion and appearance, she reminded me of the Hindu deity Kali. The Gregorian chants and the crowds of pilgrims created this familiar atmosphere of a Devi temple in India. Veneration of the Mother of God is steadily gaining ground in Europe and in Latin American countries. When I was in Europe, I was at first baffled by the inability of the Western people to regard God as the mother. One lady told me, "Well, Swami, I myself am a mother. I have my own mother still living. We have strong points and weak points, but we don't see any special sanctity about motherhood. We don't see any divinity in us." That was, of course, her misfortune. This reminds me of a story. So, father is considered divine in fatherhood. Ah, they, so this is a misfortune because mm, if father is equally divine, why not mother? Rather, mother who is the giver of birth. She is the first guru. So anyhow, one day some children were found talking noisily. They were playing a new game about telling lies. The boy who told the biggest lie would get the first prize. Just then, a priest came that way and asked the boys what were they doing. When he was told about it, he advised the boys, "My children, you should not tell lies. When I was a boy of your age, I never told a lie." All the boys then shouted in unison, "Father, you get the first prize." Children know the ways of children, and women know the ways of women, but they see only the surface, the body and its behavior, and are unable to see any divinity beyond it. So, what it means was the father was not telling a lie actually. Probably he was such a child who, uh, at that young age, also never told lie. He could fathom, comprehend, experience, um, appreciate the value of truthfulness even at that young age. Past sanskaras. But other children, they felt, ki, my God, how is it even possible? He's a young child just like them, not lying, not possible. Women, they know the ways of women, but there is divinity in everything actually. So it's not categorizing just children and women, everything. And that's the beauty of the Indian mind. It conceives everything as divine, even a rock. It knows in its genetic, as if in its blood, it knows it is divine. In the West, uh, a woman is looked upon as a sweetheart or wife. The mother does not command respect and love as in a Hindu home, since theologians teach that Eve was created out of the rib of Adam. A woman is always considered inferior to man. This attitude is determined This attitude has determined women's role in Western society. If men in the West worship God as the mother, they would be less hard hearted and sex conscious and be more spiritual. There would be stronger family bonds and greater domestic peace. In India, the worship of God as the mother has had an unbroken tradition right from the Vedic times. The Vedas contain a number of hymns addressed to Devi. In the Kena Upanishad, the mother appears as the embodiment of spiritual knowledge. In later centuries rose a whole body of literature, the Tantras, dedicated to the worship and philosophy of the Divine Mother. In Bengal, mother worship then attained great refinement and has since become a part and parcel of the daily life of the people. With the advent of Sri Ramakrishna, mother worship has undergone a rejuvenation as if all that was dross has been washed away and the mother shines in a new light in the homes and hearts of millions of people. What did Sri Ramakrishna mean by Mother Kali? He looked upon her as the creative power of the universe. Further, he said that she is inseparable from Brahman. Brahman and Shakti are abhed, is what he told. So Kali is the kinetic form of the potential Brahman. Then the immutable reality is Brahman. When it manifests as the universe, it is Kali. So immutable reality, potential is Brahman. Manifesting, kinetic is Kali. Just as the blue color of the sky indicates vastness, the dark complexion of Kali indicates infinitude. Sri Ramakrishna also said one place that is Kali really black in color? When you look at the night sky, it appears black, but is it really black? It's something like that. Sri Ramakrishna thus elevates the worship of the image of Kali to the adoration of the infinite. The mother power or the divine energy has many forms and symbols. She is symbolized variously as the goddess of knowledge, as the goddess of wealth, Saraswati, Lakshmi, the goddess of death, Kali, playing the dance of destruction. In the form of Kali, she is represented as the power of creation, protection, destruction, and as the power in which all things rest after dissolution. She arises, she is awake in Shmashan. Very famous song is there. Qazi Nazrul Islam has written that she awakens in Shmashan, where at the end the child goes to sleep, mother takes her in her lap to take her children in her lap. She leaves the comfort of Kailash and comes to Shmashan. So these are what various traditions, Bhakti traditions, represent her through. Now, in the form of Kali, she is represented as a power of creation, protection, destruction, and as the power in which all things rest after dissolution. She stands on the still, prostrate form of Shiva, representative of Brahman or the Absolute. This is symbolical of the entire cosmic dance, cosmic process, with the transcendental reality as its base, Shiva, lying at the base. Reality is beyond both life and death, and as such, the devotee should neither cling to life nor be afraid of death. So, this is not a command. clinging to life. This is a realization, and after realization, the realized being understands that I am beyond life and death, it doesn't touch me. So, who will cling to life and death? Who will be afraid of death? Who will be clinging to life? He should rise above both the pleasant and the terrible. All that is telling he should, but what it indicates is when I am doing vichara, when I am, discriminating between what is right and wrong, what is real and unreal, if I see I'm too much clinging to something and it's causing misery, my first step is to, analyze. But this is not real, this is temporary, this is imagination. So then the process of inquiry into reality begins. So he should rise above the pleasant and the terrible to the transcendental plane. He should. This is a very indicative sentence. We must understand. We cannot rise to a transcendental plane from where we can say the shade of death and immortality. Both these, O Mother. So these are realizations, and once in the path of sadhana, when such things are happening, then we should progress further. These are milestones, so to say. That's what these lines mean. That the shade of death and immortality, now both these, O Mother, are thy grace supreme. And addressing her, the devotee says, Thou hast neither name nor lineage, neither birth nor death, neither bondage nor freedom. Thou art the one without a second, known as the Brahman Supreme. Such is the highest conception of mother in Hinduism.